Are you Nev and Max?
I don't.
Yes.
Sorry, I was like that. I wasn't sure how to answer that.
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Caitlin.
Caitlin. Hi.
I'm a pretty big fan.
Oh, cool.
I heard about you guys being here through Snapchat. I actually have a question, and I'm hoping you can answer it. I've been speaking to somebody, and I'm wondering if, by any chance, you know him.
Like, know him personally?
Yes. His name is Kenton, and he lives in Kentucky.
I don't think I've ever seen this guy. Have you seen this
Kentucky?
guy?
I don't know who that is.
Oh,
What?
I met him.
You did meet him.
He says that he's your personal trainer,
What?
and I was hoping that you could help me.
You're from around here?
I live 30 minutes from here in Worcester.
And so you heard we were in town?
Yep, and I came.
Look at that.
Wait, where is that?
So first of all, no, I don't know him, but I obviously met this guy.
You've been talking to him for how long?
I've been talking to him for a couple of months. He actually wants me to move to Kentucky, so I'm hoping that you guys can help me.
Have a seat, guys.
Hi.
Oh man, that clip was amazing. I mean, people saw it last night, obviously, but let's talk about that episode. I mean, that seemed kind of unique to the show.
Yeah, that was a first for sure. I love that we were really just sitting, I think, at lunch. And you could tell because we looked bored and I was on my phone. And yeah, this girl just walked up to us. I mean, that happens sometimes that people hear we're in town because, you know, you take a picture with the girl at the front desk at the hotel and then she puts it on Facebook and all of a sudden, you know, people are waiting outside to say hi, which is great. I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be in like a souvenir shop or something and people run in and they're like, oh my God, my
Or
cousin's
are you ever
brother.
worried, or are you ever surprised by the people who are running into the room to say, hey, I saw you on Snapchat, I followed you here?
No, they're always pretty lovely people. They just kind of want their photo and to say hi. And that
It's funny though. I mean, since we're just going to go off the rails right off the top here, people are so excited. They're super determined. They come from an hour away, whatever, to meet me and take a picture. But they say like, "Hey, can I get a photo?" And then I take a photo, and then they that's it. They leave, and I'm always like, we could talk. Like, you got a question or want to just chat for a minute? And they're just,
or it goes the other way.
Oh, that's true.
Where they talk for like 20 minutes. So there's no in between.
Or it goes that way where they say, hey, I've been talking to your personal trainer for a few months and now I'm in love. So, I mean, how did you guys know that was going to be an episode from the get-go, and how'd the process for that whole thing go?
No, actually, making the show is tough. I mean, we love making it and it's great, but casting, finding people who are in relationships right now who genuinely don't know the other person or if they're telling them the truth or not is hard. And then, you know, no secret, you have to get both people to obviously then agree to be on the show. So it's hard. So when that girl came up to us, we were still looking for an episode to film. And we sort of we regrouped after lunch, and we all looked at each other and were like, I mean, it's close, let's check it out. And it happened, it was fun.
What do you think about that relationship and how that built up? I mean, the fact that, you know, love comes in, but they've never met these people. I mean, I feel like you're really connecting with these people and you sort of understand that whole process for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've made the show now for a long time, and for every minute that you see us talking on camera, there are dozens of minutes where we're talking off camera, trying to understand and figure out and interpret and come up with some kind of not solution, but advice that maybe Max and I can give these people, or, you know, who's right, who's wrong, should they be more upset or less upset? I mean, we're constantly thinking about this stuff. And it all kind of ends up getting put into this strange bin of, I don't know, like what's right, who's to say anything? You know, how do you give someone advice on their life when their life is so different from yours?
Yeah, and it's hard to understand every variable in someone's situation. So even if you talk to someone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you're not going to fully understand what they're going through. So you do the best you can to understand and help.
Yeah. I mean, what's the newest trend? What do you feel like you're getting the more of these days than you were getting before?
Well, what's interesting is we make a show about catfish, people who are making fake profiles and getting into some sort of online relationship. And that's the very sort of headline of the show. But just underneath that, and what's become more and more clear to me, and I think whether viewers are aware of it or not, the show is really about a lot more. Mainly, I think, you know, mental health, body image, a lot of the issues that young people have and continue to face as they grow up. And that's not just, and not to say that also it's not about like, opportunity and the issue of eating in this. I mean, there's so many reasons that people end up feeling the way they feel and then turning to the internet to either express themselves or escape themselves. And so that's kind of what the show ends up being about in a strange and interesting and emotional way for us.
Do you find that there's still a lot of stories you want to tell? Are you getting approached on a pretty constant basis with ideas for episodes?
Yeah, I mean, whenever people say like, do you like how many emails do you really get? I always say like, I'll show you. And I open my email. I have my Catfish Nev since
Let's get a camera on.
Since yesterday, because every day we have people going through it. So I have 66 new emails just since yesterday. And here's one from Kimberly. Help. Good morning, Nev. I've watched your show a couple times and hope you shed some light on my situation. My story's complicated. Met this lady in August 2015 off a dating site called Mingle. I mean, and she says, yes, I'm lesbian. I fell in love instantly. We video chatted, Yahoo message, blah, blah, blah. I mean, so
and they're all really long. Yeah. And now I get them too, which is bizarre. They're like, Nev hasn't responded to me for the last 6 months. Will you please tell him that I need his help? And
in comments on Instagram too, like check your email. I sent you an email.
Yeah, people have even asked my dad to get in touch with you. Yes, anytime anyone mentions they know Nev, he's their prime target for long.
To be
love
fair,
stories.
Laura's dad has had an incredible career. He's just now winding down and getting ready to retire, and so he
sounds like a good addition to the crew.
But to keep himself busy, he started driving for Uber because he loves to drive. No. This guy is like a obsessive road tripper.
Oh, nice.
So he drives from Detroit to New York all the time. He'll drive to California. He drove our car from California to New York because he's just like,
twice.
Any excuse to get in the car and go. So now he's like, I can get paid to drive around. And it's so funny because when you sign up for Uber, it tells the drivers like, make conversation. Right. Ask the passenger a question. And so the first and only question he asks is like, have you seen Catfish? And then, of course, he proceeds to tell them that he's my father-in-law. And so he's great. He's my publicist. I love it.
He's proud of you. I love it.
That's amazing. Have you felt like the Catfish these days are getting smarter? They're getting more manipulative. I mean, it's no longer like a photo of Pierce Brosnan saying, my name is Steve or anything like that. I mean, what's the newest trend or what's the newest thing that they're doing for the audience out there? Give them some sort of things to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, there's some technical improvements. We did an episode recently that aired, I think, 2 weeks ago, where Catfish did a really good job with Photoshop. The girl had said, send me a photo of you holding a piece of paper with my name and like a finger up it or something. And so he found a photo of the guy that he was using with his like finger up or somehow, and then like photoshopped in a piece of paper with like his the hand and like a shadow. It was pretty incredible. Like, it was good. So you got to watch out for that because obviously, technically some people are better. But I don't know. I think the stories, while they're all different, all boil down to an age-old sort of fundamental truth about humanity, which is we're all looking for affection and attention and love, and until we find that, and for a lot of people, even when we do, like you're always vulnerable to some outside force sort of bringing in new energy that might inspire or engage you in a new, exciting way. Yeah. And that's what a lot of this is about. So I don't know. Are Catfish evolving? Sure. But I think if you're more sophisticated than the sort of standard Catfish, you're not really in it for emotional gains. You're a scam artist or you're like a Nigerian prince. Like once you graduate to a certain level of sophistication, you're not trying to just like break hearts. You know what I mean? Like people are doing it because they themselves have a broken heart.
It's like a video game at a certain point.
Right.
Yeah. Are you ever surprised? Are you still surprised by people who end up together at the end of the episode? Do you watch, Laura? Are you
There's
ever
been
surprised?
a few, right? Yeah. I always love it. I always want them to stay together. There's been a few, right? There was that.
Laura loves watching the show and just like basically trolling me while we watch. Just making
I pretty
fun
much
of me.
exclusively, troll him on Twitter the whole time about his level of tan he's at, how tired he looks, stuff like that.
Honestly, though, I'm, if anything, disappointed that more of the couples or people who meet on the show don't try to find a sort of happy middle ground, because yes, I know it's a bummer and they lied to you and I understand that, but like you had to know they were lying to you. I mean, there's no way I mean, deep down, admit it or not, there was some level that you understood that this wasn't totally exactly what you thought. It was too good to be true. So here's the person, they've bared their soul to you. You've now shared this intense experience that's so unusual. You've been on a TV show, you've had this whirlwind of 4 days of, talking about all these things. Like, you have something now to like build on. Try to let it go that like, yeah, I lied to you for a while, but like...
For like 8 years. I mean, come on.
No, I
get it.
We always look at them and we're like, look, you guys have this incredible foundation of a friendship. Like, get over yourself. Like, don't think of them as a lying, manipulative person. Like, they're just, it was... Yeah. It's frustrating because you want these people to be with each other, but...
You want them to at least be
can't.
friends
Right.
at the end, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you come from a great place because this all started with your own story that you shared in a documentary. I mean, tell me about that process of what started that documentary for people who don't know.
Yeah, sure. So in 2007, it all started with a MySpace message from a young...
Coming up on the decade anniversary. Here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess... Oh, whoa. I think we just actually... Anyway.
Oh, man.
Anyway, no, of the first message, but whatever. So I got a message from this 8-year-old girl from her MySpace saying, "Hi, I've seen your ballet photography," which is what I was doing primarily then, and I'm a big fan. I'm learning ballet myself, and I'm also learning how to paint. I'd love if I could use your photos to sort of base my paintings off of. So it was the sweetest email you could possibly
Pretty advanced email for an 8-year-old off
She
the
was
bat.
precocious, very precocious. Anyway, and that message was immediately followed by an email from her mother saying, "Oh my God, I checked my daughter's internet use and I just saw she messaged you. She shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry, but if she's annoying you, I'll tell her to stop. But she is a fan, blah, blah, blah." Okay, so we started this friendship, and my brother, who I share an office with, and his partner Henry, who are filmmakers, it was interesting. It was weird. And this was like the dawn of the small Canon PowerShot era where we were filming everything. But this was like before smartphone, cell phone cameras were like a thing.
Just a bunch of friends sort of goofing around and getting some footage.
And I had a videography business. My company was bar mitzvah and wedding videos. So like we were used to filming everything. Anyway, so he just started recording me getting these messages and laughing, and then they started sending me these paintings. And so months went on, and I kept getting these packages and these cute watercolor paintings that were pretty good for a young kid.
We still have them in our house.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? These are still in the house? Where
Yeah.
are they?
Dope.
They're pretty good. Anyway, and then of course I began to. This was right when Facebook was really taking off, and of course I met her whole family and became friends with the cousins and the babysitter and the uncle. I mean, everybody in this small town in Michigan, but probably most notably her older half sister, who was very sexy and outdoorsy and like had a big crush on me, and so she was flirting with me, and I started flirting with her. Anyway, 9 months in, my brother had sort of increased his interest and was filming more and more, and finally we decided it was time to go meet them because we discovered that something they had told us wasn't true. And when we got to Michigan and sort of surprised showed up, what we discovered was that very little of what they had told me was true. And it turned into this incredible documentary. Never saw it coming. Came out, and then immediately I became the sort of like go-to guy for telling strange internet romance stories because no one else was.
Yeah, you were like patient zero.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I was at Sundance when that premiered, and that was just the talk of everybody, and everybody, was talking about this new documentary. It's crazy what happened to this guy. And then it gave you this platform, and then sort of tell me about how the show came to fruition. I mean, Laura, did you see that documentary? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so I saw the documentary. It was kind of pitched as a scary movie. It was like sort of Blair Witch Project-esque, and so I saw it and I was watching it with my friend, and she was like, "He's like kind of hot. He doesn't have that many followers on Facebook. He's not even like famous or anything. Like we should just like hit him up." So we sent him a message. I mean, it was more her than me, which is what's funny about it. We sent him a message. It was all her. And he never responded. But that was my first interaction. I was one of the many emails.
One of my early fans.
I was an early fan.
But that wasn't how you guys met.
No, that's not how we met. So I guess sadly I missed that message because who knows?
It wasn't from me though. It was from her.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah. So just to finish that that whole thing. So I got all these messages, some from adoring fans, others from people in relationships who were now seeking my advice or even help. And we just looked at each other, my brother Henry and our producers, and said, I guess we could reach out and see if we can help these people and maybe make it a show. And that just sort of turned into making it a show. But we met, interestingly and sort of humorously, online, not in a formal dating app setting. I had been following your ex-boyfriend on Instagram.
There we go.
He's a photographer. And she showed up in one of his photos, for good reason.
And Nev, being an internet sleuth,
Yeah, well,
he can't not do this internet exploration. He has to get down to the bottom of
Pretty girl,
everything.
come on, yeah.
Who is this woman?
Who is this lady? So I started following her, and very gently liking photos here and there, so as not to appear.
Generally, is that like 1 out of 3? Is this 1 out of 4? Coach us up.
Something like 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 5.
And the humor was not lost on me that my friend had like a big crush on him too.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was funny, so I followed him back at some point, but he didn't notice.
I didn't know because I have my, I don't. Okay, so the only alert I get is when someone I follow comments on my pics.
Right.
Because otherwise, if my friends say something funny, I'll miss it. So it's nice to see, who. Okay, so I post a photo of I got a cool old dirt bike motorcycle, and I posted a picture of it. And the next morning, I wake up to a notification that says LP Go commented on your picture, and I didn't even know she was following me. So I was like, whoa, cool.
It was super work related though. I work in advertising, and I needed a motorcycle for a shoot, and I was like, something like this.
So
like
she had just tagged 2 people in the comments so that they would see it as a reference. So it wasn't like, whatever. It was all I needed.
Nice bike,
right.
let's go for a ride, nothing like that.
No, exactly. So I immediately, knowing that she followed me, that means I can slide into the DM. So I
wonder how many girls you've done this to.
Never.
He was such a
First,
player.
obviously.
He was so smooth.
So I just wrote, want to go for a ride. And she wrote back, ha, duh. So right away I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I said, I don't know why I was feeling saucy. I just said tonight. Because I don't know, I think I was leaving town the next day. So I was like, I got to take this girl out tonight.
Yeah.
Are
And
we going to share this part?
And she wrote back.
Oh, no.
Something that.
This is true.
This is totally true. I could show you.
I was wearing a dress at work that you couldn't wear, like, appropriate undergarments with.
Okay.
So her response, which, like a cartoon, I've never had, can I stand up and do this?
Of course, please.
Like a cartoon. I was walking in the locker room at the gym, and it stopped me in my track. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, it stopped me in my tracks, and my jaw was like, I really didn't know that happened in real life.
Because he was like, I'll pick you up from work, and I was like, that's not going to work for me.
No, hold on. I said, want to go for a ride? You said, ha, duh. I said, tonight. And your response was, but I wore a dress to work with no panties. And I just was like, I'm in love. So then we continued to work out the details, which ended up with me buying a pair of underwear that I chose to match my motorcycle.
It matched his motorcycle.
And bringing them to her and handing them to her before, like, first thing I did was I handed her a pair of underwear.
I love that.
And then I took them back, and then the rest is history.
See, I love that so much. I love your guys' openness, and I think that's why this show on Attention for Facebook is so fantastic, because what you guys are sharing with your audience there. I mean, tell me how you guys started sharing your life, and now you're newborn. Cleo.
When
we got pregnant.
Yeah, well, Nev obviously has been, working with a lot of people with a lot of issues around, mood disorders and insecurity. And so he started working with a company called Attention, to make videos and write articles about those issues that he's dealing with on Catfish. And so then we got together, and then I got pregnant, and it was just a platform that existed to sort of reach out with people that might be going through something similar. So when I got pregnant, we really wanted to have the baby, but my friends' reactions weren't what I had expected. Or, my friends and family were like, what? Why would you do that? And so I was really upset. And there's a lot of women out, and by no means was it like a political statement. It was more just, I really want to have this baby and I'm freaking out. And so I wrote a really candid article for attention on that. And that spawned into a series of videos about, becoming parents and the issues that come around that, like parental leave for moms and dads and postpartum care for moms and sort of all the things that go along with having a baby in families. So we started making those videos, and they resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, oh my God, we made a couple videos around parenting, and they were huge hits, if you want to call them that. I mean, people really needed a sort of excuse to come out and say, oh my God, I'm dealing with this too, whether it's, postpartum care or gender roles in parenting.
With someone that's their age. I think there's a lot of people, I'm in my 30s. I'm not a young mom by any means, right? But for some reason, maybe it's New York or something, but I felt like I was really young to have a baby, and maybe it was because our relationship was really new. But people are afraid to start families, and I think, hearing us sort of talk candidly about it was really resonating with people. So.
Yeah, especially now, not to get too political, but or social, economical, whatever. A lot of young people are in debt and struggling to find jobs, and having a kid seems like this impossible thing. And when's the right time going to be? And is it ever going to be the right time? And I have to fall in love, and I have to get engaged, and I have to get married. There's like all these steps that we're traditionally expected to follow, and it can be not only intimidating but also overwhelming to think how and when will that ever happen, and is it ever really the right time? And is it ever really financially responsible? And so there's a lot of pressure that I think a lot of people feel now around doing the sort of most simple, basic, amazing thing. And so that's kind of what we tried to tap into with our video series initially. And then, it became clear to us that, like you say, we're very candid. We have no problem opening up and talking about whatever it might be. And so when Facebook launched sort of production on this original series, it was just a great fit that Attention and us wanted to do one, and we thought, well, let's help people just to open up and talk about issues that couples face, whatever they may be.
Because I think at the end of the day, a lot of people feel dumb about a lot of things. They're nervous, they feel like other people aren't going through the same things that they're going through, or that they'll be judged if they start talking about it, or they'll be stigmatized. So we're sort of saying, hey, you can stigmatize us first, and then maybe you'll feel more comfortable opening up. Because it's a little embarrassing talking it's embarrassing at times, but it's nice to feel. Some people are mean when they hear certain stories, and other people come out and they're like, oh my God, that's exactly how I felt. Right. When I got pregnant and my parents weren't excited, that's exactly how I felt. And those stories and those people coming forward and sharing what they went through, that means everything. Yeah. That's why we keep doing it, and that's why we keep making videos. Yeah.
I feel like as connected as we are, people feel very lonely, and they can really sort of communicate with you guys openly, and you guys don't put yourself as experts. You guys say, hey, we're going through the same stuff as you guys are. What are some of sort of the issues that you guys are going to take on in the next couple episodes? And
yeah, well, so this show is it's on the lighter side. So we've been dealing with heavier issues, but then this show does a combo, right? It's the fun stuff that you talk with your friends or over drinks about how some guy did something weird on a date. And then it's more serious issues that couples face, like moving in, when's the right time, or if your friends and family don't like your significant other.
Talk about how social media has changed relationships now. A lot of issues come up around social media, keeping secrets.
But it's fun though, because people call and write in, and the producers don't tell us what we're gonna be answering. So it's definitely not like we're giving advice.
We like to say we're giving bad advice.
It's bad. It's bad advice. But I think what we end up doing is sort of running the gamut of all of the options, and then sort of weighing. We disagree a lot, and
we just talk it through.
It's a forum. It's an open forum to talk and I don't know.
Yeah, and laugh, cringe, and be a little embarrassed, and realize that you're not alone in all this, and everyone's going through it. We're going through it still. We're still getting to know each other. It's only been just over 2 years.
Yeah. So some of the stuff I feel really well equipped to answer. Like this one girl was like, I don't want to move in with my boyfriend because I'm afraid to go to the bathroom, in the same house when he's there. So I don't think I can. And they'd been dating for 2 years. So it's okay, I can help with that one. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's put loud music on, ease into it. It's gonna be, you'll get there. She was young, so I could answer that. But then other ones are tougher. You know, you're like, I don't know. You could try these 7 things.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for the rest of the episodes. We have some questions in the audience. We have some questions out there. We'll start right there.
Hey guys. So I was wondering, have you ever been approached or contacted by people that you felt maybe unsafe with, or felt you needed to contact, like maybe a psychologist or somebody in law enforcement?
Well, I mean, I get a lot more
for you,
contact, I guess, in that way. I don't know. I guess the initial answer would be no. I think that there are a lot of people in need, whether they've contacted me or not, of some psychological assistance. You know, we provide therapists to everyone who comes on the show during the process and afterwards. I think some use and need them more than others, but we encourage everyone on the show off camera, and sometimes I think on camera, to seek out counseling. But in specific regard to Catfish, what's interesting to me, people often ask, were you ever afraid or nervous for your safety? And I think that's sort of along the lines of your question. And I think inherently people who choose to create fake profiles on the internet and live out their insecurities or fantasies online are generally more passive. They're not really aggressive people because they've chosen to sort of isolate themselves in a safe environment to express how they really feel. So no, I'm never really that worried about me or them. I think if they were harmful or looking to harm others, they would have probably done that already and not sort of been in this small relationship that they've kind of used as a way to hide themselves. Yeah. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Next question.
Hey, so since you've investigated so many cases on Catfish, are you like 3 steps ahead of everyone, or are you still surprised by the results of everything?
I mean, I don't know. I've to some extent, I feel like I'm better now, obviously, than I was, but that's only because I've done it so many times, and I just know all the websites and the stuff. Like, you can only be so good at internet investigation.
You were Catfish last
true.
year.
Yeah.
Again.
After 4 seasons of making the show, or 3 seasons, I ended up in this strange, weird, flirtatious Twitter relationship with this girl online, and it was just sort of friendly, and then she had this Twitter account that was really engaged, high engagement. So eventually she convinced me to let her try and help me improve my Twitter account by engage. And so I gave her.
He gave her his Twitter password.
I didn't technically give her my Twitter password. I generated a temporary password, which I was under the impression was temporary. But I didn't realize once she logged in, she could stay logged in. And so then she ended up not being who she said she was, which I figured out. I never even thought to look into it that deeply, but eventually I did. And then she ended up using my account very, very secretively, late at night, to message other guys who she had been catfishing to assure them as me that she was real.
It was so crazy.
It's complex.
He figured it out because we were up late with the baby, late at night. I was breastfeeding and stuff,
Thanks,
4 in the morning. And then at 4 in the morning, he was like, "Why am I getting messages from random guys?"
I know, and it was weird because I was look, I would open my direct messages. I saw some dude had messaged me, and then it was gone, and because she was deleting them immediately after she was getting them, so I would never see. But I just happened to be up late enough to see it.
Good.
Wow.
She was good.
Wow. Caution, people, caution. Okay, one last question.
Hi. So since it's been 7 years since the Catfish movie was released, and we since that time there were only different social media platforms like MySpace and Facebook. Cut to 7 years later now, where there's so many different other dating sites and apps and stuff like that. Is it hard for you to get equipped with those when you're doing investigations for the show?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely come across sites that we've never heard of before. This is already old news, but I remember we did an episode a few seasons back where 2 people met on vampirefreaks.com. Hey. But yeah, I mean, there are new apps and new websites, obviously, all the time. And we did a story recently, actually, where someone met on Snapchat, early on in Snapchat, and the guy sent a video to her. So at the time, she just assumed, it must really be him because no one knew yet that you could use a third-party app to hack your account and upload photos. So, like, yes, it's always, the landscape's always shifting little bits at a time, and we do try to keep up. We have some great producers on the show who do kind of brief us here and there on new stuff, but usually it comes from conversations with people who I run into on the street who are just like, oh my God, have you heard about this new website, or have you heard about this new app? It's like, whatever. So I do try. I try to stay hip, but I'm old now and I don't know a lot of stuff.
Well, guys, I'm really enjoying We Need to Talk. Guys, check it out on Facebook, and then Catfish, another season. Can we confirm there's another season coming on?
We are weeks away from production of season 7.
Well, there we go, guys.
So,
there we
yeah.
go. So one more round of applause for Nev and Laura, guys.